In today's video, we'll be talking about how to get started in taking actual photographs and improving your photography. But before we get into that, I have a question for you that I just want you to keep in the top of your mind as you're watching the video. Why do you want to improve your photography? Just think about that while we go through this. Each one of these topics deserves its own video, so I am burning through these, okay? As far as improving your photography, let's start out with gear. The best camera is whatever camera you happen to have. And if that happens to be your phone, then that's what it is. Because good photography isn't all about the exposure triangle. You also have the artistic triangle, which we'll go over later. And that's where you can improve your photography even with just a cell phone. And there's nothing wrong with cell phones, okay? And if you have some money to spend on gear, then I encourage you, don't break the bank. You can get a pretty good kit, a pretty good setup for $800. Buy used, buy from a reputable dealer, get a decent camera, and get I'm going to recommend that you get a kit lens to start out, because before you go plunking down a ton of money on this, you kind of need to know first off whether you want to put in the reps, whether you're going to take the time to actually make your photography better. You've got the exposure triangle, which, you know, there's thousands and tons and millions of videos on that, but there's not really a whole lot of videos on the artistic triangle. The artistic triangle consists of framing, visual tools, and experimentation. As far as framing goes, that is as much what you put into your frame as what you take out of your frame, so that what you're left with is what you envisioned when you decided to take the photograph. Also, while framing things up, take care of your edges. Make sure that, you know, unintentional things aren't creeping in, not necessarily ruining your image, but making it less. Now, visual tools, that's like 3 or 4 videos right there. But basically, visual tools are doing things like the rule of thirds and the golden ratio and leading lines. I mean, there's just so many things out there, and they're not rules, they're guidelines. But when you're starting out, know what they are, know how to use them, and then while you're taking your photographs, you'll learn when those rules aren't going to apply to what you've got set up. And the third part of the artistic triangle is experimentation. And I kind of touched on that just then, but it's where you know what the rules are. And so this is your chance to break those rules a little bit and experiment and figure out, do I want the water to be rushing? Do I want the motion of the water, or do I want to freeze it in place? You know, do I want to try some intentional camera movement? Things like that. So it's where you step outside of your boundaries and you make a lot of mistakes experimenting with your photography. So that's the artistic triangle. The scientific triangle is, of course, ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. So I'm going to encourage you that if you don't know what these are, start out in auto. It's okay. Work on your artistic triangle first. Get that down. Understand what makes your photographs look good, and then take it off auto. I asked you when I started the video, why do you want to improve your photography? Have you thought about it? Has it changed? If your answer is changed, let me know in the comments below how it's changed. We're gonna hop over these really quickly, so you know, if you need to, get a piece of paper, pause the video, whatever you need to do. But here is the actual process. Now that I've given you the tools, here's the actual process. And the first thing is get out there and shoot every day if you can. Take intentional photographs, frame things up, take the snap, review it quickly, see if everything's in focus. Then change your point of view. For example, let's take a look at this. You know, there's a bush right there. If I take that right here, right now, or, you know, even from that angle, you've got a building in the background. So you're going to notice that on your quick review. And so maybe you want to take it at this angle where you've got another bush. So we're going to move over to the side, kind of isolate this one, and everything comes in the background. Or you can take from this angle where you've got the leading line of the track, you got the bush. So, I mean, that's just an example of the process of just getting out and taking an intentional photograph. If your camera has the ability, take photographs in RAW and JPEG. At this point, you're not going to worry about editing right now. So you're going to want those JPEGs. Also, have a camera with you at all times. I was out here in this park the other day, and there was a moose just out there rooting around in the bushes, and all I had was my cell phone. It was a camera though, so I took the shots that I could and left the good shots behind with my good camera. That's okay. I still had a camera with me. While you're taking these intentional photographs, change the settings up. For example, see what changing the aperture is going to do for you. See what changing the shutter speed does for you. Bump your ISO up to 12,800 to see how that affects the image. Just experiment. This is your time for figuring out all of the things that your camera does. And like I said, if it's a cell phone camera, then just play with it. Just get out there, frame things up, take snaps. It's not sexy. It's practice, but it's improvement is the idea, is the basis, because you want to go from pictures to photographs. And what's the difference? Basically, pictures are for information purposes. Oh, look, it's me, my friends, and we're here in front of this river. Yay! A photograph tells a story, and it's intentional. You've lined things up, you've made the frame, and you're basically telling that 1,000-word story with your photograph. Save your work. Oh my gosh. I mean, even the crap. I still have almost all of my photographs. And my last point in the process is to journal, okay? I am not a journaler, but what I do keep record of is things that I see, where I see them, and what conditions would make that a photograph. Some of you are journalers, and that's great. That's really good. So you can put down your feelings, what you were trying to frame up, and all that. You can do video journals too, like take a GoPro or whatever you want with you and get out there, and you can do a video journal of the things that other people would normally write down. So that's also effective. And finally, some additional tips. Like I said earlier, don't worry about editing now. I encourage you to go out and find some artists whose work you enjoy. Find your genre. Find pictures of who you like, and describe to yourself what it is about those pictures that you like. And if you're feeling especially courageous, adventurous, experimental, try and emulate those photographs. Try and duplicate them. Join a group and get some feedback. Because social media, friends and family, they're kind of not reliable. But get into a group, find some people who give compliments and constructive criticism too, because you want that. You want to know what's good and you want to know what you can improve. Keep your camera in good working order. Keep the lenses clean, keep the body clean, and just make sure everything functions well. When you come back from a shoot, just take a couple minutes, make sure things are clean. When you're out there taking your intentional photographs, set up your next photo shoot to improve the thing that you identified as your weakest point, because we're not improving everything all at once. Just improve one thing on your next photo shoot. Okay, try different genres. If you like shooting street and that's what you've been doing, get out and take some nature photographs, or do some portraiture, or landscapes, or sports photography, or I mean, just the list goes on. Go out, try something new. Another thing is to Google your hometown and see if you can find some photographs out there that are of your hometown. Then go out there and try to make the exact same photograph. I don't mean, go out there to the same location and take a shot. Try and make your photo exactly the same as the one you saw on Google. Figure it out. Do the scientific triangle, the artistic triangle, and make it exactly the same. The lighting, what time of day was it? Was the sun coming from behind or in front? It's all, yeah, you get it. We're nearing the end, and I've got to tell you that you're never too old to improve your photography or to even start a career in photography. I mean, look at me, right? Dinosaur. And never stop learning, because photography is a process and there is always something new to learn, some new technique. Somebody out there has got something to teach you, or the camera has something to teach you. There's always something to learn. I've been intentionally taking photographs for about 9 years now, and I still have so much to learn. It's crazy. And last, have fun. Because if you're not having fun, what's the point? Photography is a slog and it's a chore, just like making videos, but it's one of those fun chores. It's one of those things that I get my camera out and my bag, and I head out to the park, and it's the same park I've been going to for years, but I love to get out there because maybe there's a moose, maybe there's fresh fallen snow, so many different things, so many different conditions. Every day's different, every day's an adventure. So if you're not having fun, then do this, because we're going to come full circle back to your why. And you've had a few minutes to think about why you want to be a photographer. And there's no right or wrong answer. The best answer will provide you motivation. So why do I want to be a photographer? Why do I want to improve my photography? Basically, I'm coming up onto retirement age, and I want something that's going to keep me mentally and physically active. That is my why. And also, I just love getting out there and figuring out puzzles. And photography is a puzzle that is different every time I go out. That's my why. That keeps me motivated. I start getting bored with my photographs, and I start looking around, and I start looking at my images, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I could have improved this, so let's get back out there, let's figure it out. That's my why. I hope you enjoyed this video. There's a lot to unpack here, and depending on when you watch this video, my channel is fairly new, so I'll be making those videos and sticking in the cards as they come along. Thanks for staying with me, and there's so much more that I left unsaid. So we're gonna move on, and let's get in those reps. I'll see you out there.